Hi everyone and welcome to the Skyrim mod feature episode 44. First up we have the blue Telvanni Mage robes by Elianora. Now this is a re-upload of a previous mod, however this one makes the Telvanni robes now standalone and adds a new hood and matching shitting gloves and boots. The robes are available for male and female characters and the hood does have support for beast races. There's also support for the weight slider and also UMP. If you're wanting to craft the robes, they can be found under miscellaneous section at the forge and you'll need iron ingots, shitting plate as well as netch leather. I really like the original replacer mod and I'm glad it's been added as a standalone. The new gloves, hood and boots look especially well placed in with the robes and it's a really great piece of work. The full set of robes, boots, hood and gloves comes with some very nice enchantments, and for a full list of these please do check out the mod authors page and go to the stats section. Next up we have a mod from Jackknife. Now this mod adds some very nice looking robes to the game, especially good for high class characters going to fancy parties or simply running around their massive estates. The robes are available for male and female characters and there is also an optional replacer which will replace the fine clothes on the Jarls with these robes. In total there are 5 new robes and they can be crafted at the tanning rack. Female dresses are using meshes and basic textures from the fabulous Noble Dress mod by Nimzis. And the male outfits are using meshes from Dovahkiin's Jerkin by QTA. If you're wanting to craft these fantastic looking outfits at the tanning rack, you will need linen wraps, leather strips and some gems. And depending on the colour of the outfit that you're trying to craft, you'll either need gold, silver, moonstone, malachite, ebony or quicksilver ingots. This next mod makes some fantastic changes to what I believe was one of the most pointless questlines of the entirety of Skyrim, and that was the No Stone Unturned questline. And in that mod you had to collect these, the Stones of Barenziah. And as you know, you couldn't drop them from your inventory without using another mod, and they looked pretty rubbish and plastic. Now this mod makes some great changes to the stones themselves. As you can see, there's some nice translucent going through there and they just look a lot more like an expensive and unusual and unique gem. And the second improvement that's been made is to the crown itself. As you can see, it's of a much higher quality now. It doesn't look like cheap gold and the gems fit nicely inside of it once you've collected all of them. For me, this is a much needed improvement to the stones from the questline. It makes them a lot more desirable, and since doing this video there's been an update to the mod which now allows you to use the textures from Ganwitch's Retexture, and they too are fantastically done and it's good to have a choice with these things. The next mod that I'm going to show you is a really great armour for mage characters. It's called BattlemageArmor and it can be found deep in the depths of Labyrinthia. The armour shares its stats with glass armour and the robe shares its enchantments with the Archmage robes, giving minus 15% cost to all spells, plus 100% magic regeneration and 50% magicka. There is also a cloth version available of this mod, so you don't have to use the armour version, and if you prefer to play as a mage that relies on alteration magic instead of actual armour, then that may be the version that you will choose. It's a really great looking piece of armour, especially if you do play as a mage character. I really do like it. I actually put it on Savros Eron while I was doing some different videos for a different mod, and I've got to say he looks far more formidable than he does in his vanilla state with the Archmage robes. Personally, I would like to see a replacer for this, for adding it as the Archmage robes rather than using the vanilla set. It does look very formidable in game, and it's fantastic for anyone that likes playing as a battle mage. Now, this next mod can be a little bit difficult to show on video. Fiotin did a fantastic job in his cover of the mod, and the mod's called Drops. Now basically what the mod does is gives a far better texture to the drops that you can find falling from the ceiling in many of the dungeons in Skyrim. Now it actually took me a while to find a place where this happens. As you can see, I'm in Bleak Falls Barrow here. This is near the end of the dungeon, and I actually missed this spot several times on looking for an area to record, and that's because with the vanilla texture it literally looks like there's no drops there at all when you walk past it. Now with this mod on, you can see them straight away, and it looks a hell of a lot better and gives you a real sense of there actually being water in this dungeon. Personally, I wouldn't use this mod on my normal playthrough, but for certain cinematic effects and different types of videos on that vein, then it is a very good mod to use. We'll just see in the before and after shot just now how much of a change it makes. This is the vanilla drops, and as I go across with this mod, you'll see that the pools of splashes that have been made here and the textures on the splashes as well as the drops themselves is far improved, and it just gives a far better visual picture of what's actually going on. And as you can imagine, for making cinematic things, this would be a far better choice than the vanilla texture. So if it's ever irked you that you can't see the drops very well in the vanilla game, then this may be a mod that you'll look into, especially if you like doing cinematic things in dungeons. It does give a nicer effect than the vanilla drops. Next up, we have a retexture for scrolls. Now this mod offers 5 different patterns across 4 different paper versions. So you can have crinkly paper, water paper, or old looking paper, as well as 5 unique patterns. The mod comes with a NMM installer, which can also be used obviously in Mod Organizer. It just helps you choose what sort of versions of the mod you want installed. For this video, I'm using a multitude of different installation versions spanning across the normal texture as well as all the patterns and most of the paper types. My favourite version to use is the mixed set, which offers a nice spread of different patterns across the scrolls as well as a mixed set of paper textures. I really do recommend this mod if you play as a mage character. You're going to see scrolls a lot through your playthrough, and it does make a big difference having this texture on rather than the vanilla set. And when you're going to see the texture most is in the inventory, and it just makes you feel like you've got an actual piece of magical scripture in your hands rather than just this old flaky bit of paper as you do during the vanilla game. And if you like the look of the mod, be sure to check it out using the link below, and do bookmark it as well on Nexus as it is being frequently updated. It was actually last updated today, so you can see it is an actively worked on mod, and it's very much worth your while in checking out and using for yourself in game. Okay, so for this next mod I've come in game to show you more useful dogs. Now what the mod does is something akin to what you would find with dog meat from Fallout 3, where you can go up to your dog follower, talk to them, and then issue them certain tasks to go help you find items in the world space. So I've also using this alongside AFT, and I've made Stump from Riverwood, my dog companion or follower. And what I can do here is I can go up to Stump, talk to him, and go to Listen to Me. Now in here we have several more options which will help us give Stump some additional commands so we can go off and find some items for us. So we can see if we can find a key, get a ranged weapon, find some potion or food, find some ammo for the ranged weapons, see if we can find actually anything at all, any weapon at all, see if we can find some armor, see if we can find a book, some food, some ingredients for potions, a melee weapon, and also lockpick. So all you need to do is select one of these. So I'm going to go and find a weapon, any weapon you can find for me, Stump. And he should now run off and go off into town, because we're in Whiterun here, and see if he can find anything. Now, on usual testing of this, yes, he runs right over to Belethor's little helper where he's chopping wood, and steals the wood axe from him. Now, it's not a brilliant weapon, but it is a weapon, and Stump will bring it back to me now. Won't you? Yes, drop it. Thank you. Good boy. And you can see it's the woodcutter's axe from Belethor's helper. I can't remember his name for the life of me. I don't really care either. But you see, it's not a brilliant weapon, but it does depend on what is around you in the world space at that time. So say you've just slain a couple of enemies, the weapons on those enemies will probably be collected by your dog follower. So let's issue a couple more commands, and I'll move to a different area then so you can see the mod work in a different place. So let's see if Stump can find me a potion or some food. Now he should be able to do this in Whiterun because there is a market stall off in that direction, and he should be able to go and find me at least some food. Now obviously this mod does rely on very good nav meshing, so if you're in a modded area where the nav meshing isn't exactly right, or say in a normal vanilla area where the nav meshing hasn't been completed accurately enough, sometimes your follower can get stuck while you're issuing these commands. But you can see Stump has come back to me here and is very excited to see me because he seems to have brought me some butter. Thank you. Very useful indeed. Always need butter for your bread. So you can see, very useful mod, and just a lot of fun really to use your dog follower in this fashion. I'm a big fan of using dog followers, especially where the Dawnguard DLC is concerned. There's some very good followers with that DLC. And let's just issue another command and I'll move to another location. Let's see what sort of armor we can find in Whiterun. Now if at any point your dog companion can't find any items in this area, either the companion will just walk around on the spot and not really go anywhere, and you won't be able to issue any commands for a little bit of time, or you'll get a little message in the top left corner telling you that, in this case, Stump cannot find any items in this location. So you do get a little bit of feedback on whether, god damn it Stump, with if any items can be found in that area. Alright, what have you brought me? Some gloves, fantastic. As you can see, not exactly the best sort of armour. That's actually clothes, Stump, not armour. I think we need to train you a little bit better. Get the difference between armour and clothes into your mind there. But as you can see, very useful. So I'm going to move to a different location now where there are a couple of slain enemies in the area. And hopefully Stump will bring me some better items. My character in the next little recording as well will be 83, whereas at the moment this character is only level 1. So we'll just see the difference between the two. And the main difference will be not that you'll get better items being collected by your dog companion, but you'll be slaying and vanquishing higher level enemies, so they will have better armor, better weapons on them themselves, and that's how you'll get better weapons from your dog follower. So I'm going to move to a different location now, and I'll see you in a couple of seconds. Okay, so here we are outside of Bleak Falls Barrow, and you can see it's a fantastically blizzardy day, not as glorious as it was in Whiterun. Visibility is very low. And I've slain a couple of enemies down the bottom here. You can see one or two there and one guy over there. So if I go up to Stump now and see if we can get him to get me any better weapons. So I need a weapon, a ranged weapon. Let's not try that one because I know for a fact after testing he won't do that. So this is one of the cases where he won't be able to find certain weapons, and like you can see he just walked off to the side and lay down. And if I go up to him, I'll have to wait a little bit of time, but you can see I don't have the option to give him any commands at the moment, so we just have to wait a little bit. And eventually, it will say at the top left that Stump could not find anything in this area. There you go, Stump did not find anything here. So if we go back up to Stump now, go listen to me, and this time go for a melee weapon. We'll go right down to the bottom to select this one. And he should run off down these steps. Yes, there he goes. And go to one of the corpses to loot them for you. Now this is where this sort of mod comes in real use. If you are say a ranger character, you can set your dog follower to not attack any enemies, but just to loot the people that you slay from a distance. So for example, if I was an archer and I say kill them right over in the distance over there, I could get Stump to then go and get me the weapons from them. And you can see Stump has now brought me a... what have you brought me? an iron whack in the I can't even say that. An iron sword. Thank you, Stump. Let's see if you can get me anything better than that. Let's see if what we just select any weapon you can find. There we go. It's also very useful, say, if you set up camp somewhere and you need a bit of food or you need a bit of ammo for something, you can set up camp while you send your dog companion off to get some stuff for you. Just frees up a bit of your own time as well. What have you bought me this time? You've bought me a steel scimitar. That is a very nice looking weapon. Thank you very much, Stump. Thank you indeed. You've been a pretty good boy so far, haven't you? Yeah, you have. So let's now see if you can get me, in this area, a book. Yeah? You get me a book? Very useful if you're a mage character, because he may, if he's been good, bring me back a spell tome. Which obviously, as you can imagine, if you're a mage character, you might accidentally miss a couple of useful spells, and your dog companion will go and find them for you. So have you bought me anything? Anything? You always seem very happy when you come back. Whoa! And you are doing something very strange to that book. Thank you. Can you drop that? Thank you. Thank you. And you've brought me back, yes, a spell tome, Oak Flesh. As you can see, I've tested this mod in this area before, so I know roughly what Stump will bring me back. But again, very useful indeed. So this is more useful dogs, if you like the look of it. Obviously, select the link down below in the description to go to the mod authors page and see some more information. There's also a very good video by Bro Jewel on that page. And obviously, if you do end up using the mod, please do endorse. Unfortunately, that brings me to the end of episode 44 of another Skyrim mod feature. If you've liked any of the mods that I've shown in this video, you'll find the link to them down in the description below. And if you do use them, be sure to endorse. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.